In 2024, the man who built Linux, the software running most of the internet, said AI was 90% marketing and 10% reality. He said he'd just ignored it for 5 years. By 2026, that same man was telling critics inside his own project, if you don't like AI, fork the code and walk away. So what happened in between? Did Linus Torvalds sell out, or is there something smarter going on here? Let's break it down. Quick refresher, Linus Torvalds developed Linux, the operating system behind most of the cloud, most phones, and most servers on Earth. When he talks about how software should be built, the whole tech industry listens. And Torvalds has always had one core belief. He doesn't care about the hype. He cares about results. He once said real intelligence isn't about working hard. It's about avoiding work while still getting things done. That single idea explained almost everything that follows. Phase 1. The Skeptic. Back in October 2024, at a conference in Vienna, Torvalds said the AI industry was mostly noise, 90% marketing, 10% reality. His plan? Ignore it for 5 years and wait for the hype to pop. But here's a key detail people miss. This wasn't an anti-AI stance, it was an anti-hype stance. He wasn't saying AI was useless, he was saying nobody had proven it useful yet. Phase 2. The compiler comparison. By 2025, Torvalds started comparing AI to something every programmer already understands, the compiler. A compiler turns human-readable code into machine instructions, and it boosted programmer output by roughly 1,000 times. His point was simple. Nobody brags that 100% of my code was written by a compiler, so why brag that AI wrote your code? To Torvalds, AI was just the next layer of abstraction, useful only in the hands of someone who actually understands what they're building. Phase 3. He actually used it. Then, in January 2026, Torvalds quietly did something telling. Working on a hobby project, a guitar pedal effects tool, he used an AI coding assistant to build a Python visualizer, admitting he didn't know Python or audio filtering well enough to do it himself. His verdict: it worked better than anything he could have written by hand. This was the moment theory turned into personal proof. Phase 4. The flood of junk. But then came the mess. By spring 2026, Linux private security mailing lists were drowning in low-quality AI-generated bug reports, many of them duplicates, since everyone was running the same tools on the same public code. Torvalds called it pointless churn. Other open-source projects panicked. Curl shut down its bug bounty program, and projects like Zig and NetBSD banned AI code outright. Torvalds didn't ban anything. Instead, he raised the bar. If you find a bug using AI, don't just dump it. Verify it, understand it, and add real value on top. Phase 5. Making humans responsible. In April 2026, the kernel team solved the legal headache with one clever rule. AI can never officially sign off on code. Only a human can take legal responsibility under the project's existing rules. They also added a new tag, assisted by, just to track which AI tools were used, without giving the AI any credit or authorship. Simple, and it sidestepped a legal mess entirely. Phase 6. The tool that changed everything. Then came Sashiko, an AI review system built by a Google engineer that automatically checks kernel code for bugs. In testing, it caught over half of real, previously missed bugs in the kernel, bugs that human reviews had walked right past. That kind of result is hard to argue with. Even developers who used to call AI submissions garbage admitted the tool was now producing real, valuable work. Phase 7. The Ultimatum. Still, some developers pushed back on ideological grounds, not because the tool was wrong, but because they didn't like AI in principle. In July 2026, Torvalds shut that down. He said Linux is not an anti-AI project, and if people have a problem with that, they are free to fork the code and build their own version, or just walk away. So did Torvalds change his mind? Not really. He never cared about AI as a trend. He cared about whether it actually worked. Once it proved itself, catching real bugs, saving real time, He defended it the same way he defends every tool that earns its place, based on results, not fear. That's the whole story, not a conversion, just an engineer waiting for the proof and getting it. If you found this breakdown useful, subscribe for more deep dives like this. See you in the next one.